Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you with us today. We are taking a really deep structural dive into the North Carolina Board of Pharmacy's verification system, and we're getting right to it. Are you looking to verify a pharmacist license in North Carolina? Whether you're a pharmacy manager hiring new staff or a concerned patient wanting to double-check credentials, knowing how to verify a pharmacist license is crucial. Let's dive into everything you need to know.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with exactly why this verification matters, walk through a simple step-by-step guide, learn how to translate those search results, avoid some really common pitfalls, apply all this to real-world scenarios, and wrap up with your next steps.
Starting off with Section 1, why verification matters when it comes to ensuring safety and compliance.
Now you might be wondering, why can't we just look at the fancy paper certificate hanging on the pharmacy wall? Well, the healthcare industry relies on something called primary source verification, or PSV for short. Basically, this is the official computer-generated confirmation that comes directly from the North Carolina Board of Pharmacy. Major organizations like the Joint Commission actually demand this strict level of verification. Back in the day, credentialing meant mailing off physical letters and waiting weeks for a reply. It was a nightmare. Today, the board's online portal serves as the ultimate digital PSV, cutting out those dangerous delays entirely.
And that speed, it's absolutely crucial. Just imagine a pharmacy manager relying on some yellowing paper certificate on a wall. That piece of paper literally only tells you that a pharmacist was licensed on the exact day it was printed. It doesn't tell you if their license was suddenly suspended yesterday for a major compliance issue. Because this database updates continuously, in real time, it's really the only reliable way to know for sure that a pharmacist is legally authorized to practice right this very second. So relying on outdated paper is a massive liability. The portal gives you the real-time truth.
Now, what's really interesting is how simple the state has made this process. Let's look at Section 2, our step-by-step guide to navigating the licensure gateway.
Pulling up a record is just a super straightforward four-step process. First, you're going to head directly to portal.ncbop.org and find the license verification section. Second, you have to select the license type from a drop-down menu. You can't just type a name in blindly. You've got to tell the system if you're looking for a pharmacist, a pharmacy tech, or maybe a clinical pharmacist practitioner. Third, just enter your search credentials, like the name or license number. And finally, click to view your results. The best part? You don't need some special employer account or login to do this. This tool is right there at your fingertips.
But you do have to know what parameters to use, which brings us to a key difference: individuals versus facilities. If you're looking up a person, an individual practitioner, you're going to search using their first name, last name, or their specific license number. However, the board also regulates businesses, right, like a brick-and-mortar pharmacy or a medical equipment provider. For those facilities, your search fields completely change. You'll use the permit number, the business name, or the city and state. Oh, and there's a super handy Select for Active Only checkbox to filter out closed credentials right from the get-go.
All right, getting the results to pop up is only half the battle. Let's move into Section 3 and translate the data you're actually looking at.
When the record loads, it gives you a highly specific set of data points. Obviously, you'll see the practitioner's official name and license number, along with the license type and its status, like active, inactive, or suspended. But definitely pay close attention to the issue and expiration dates. In North Carolina, pharmacist licenses have to be renewed annually. This expiration date is a vital check to make sure a staff member hasn't simply forgotten to renew. Finally, you'll spot an immunizer status flag. It's just a simple yes or no that confirms if they are legally cleared to administer vaccines.
But there's one more critical data point on that screen, and it really begs the question, what does a disciplinary flag actually mean when it pops up? Well, if you see a yes next to that disciplinary action flag, it means the Board of Pharmacy has taken official action against that licensee. But the great thing is, the portal doesn't leave you in the dark. If that flag is tripped, a new button appears that says View Disciplinary Actions. Click that and you immediately get access to the public legal documents. We're talking official board orders and consent agreements that detail the exact violations and how they were resolved. For employers, this is literally a game changer for risk mitigation. You can instantly see a practitioner's professional history without filing any tedious public records requests. And hey, if you ever need help interpreting those outcomes, double-checking by contacting the board directly is always a smart move. So the crucial point here is that while the system is robust, there are traps. Let's dive into Section 4, Common Pitfalls to Avoid.
This right here illustrates a massive regulatory trap for employers: the huge discrepancy between state boards. Take clinical pharmacist practitioners, or CPPs. They operate under joint oversight. The North Carolina Board of Pharmacy accepts verification requests directly through their free portal with immediate tracking. But the North Carolina Medical Board? Completely different story. They strictly reject physical paper requests. They'll literally just throw them away. Instead, they mandate the use of their own portal, which costs $50 per lookup. Here's the catch, though. Despite the joint oversight, official licensure verifications for CPPs must be processed exclusively through the Board of Pharmacy's portal. If you try to go through the medical board for a CPP, you're going to waste time, lose money, and just get redirected anyway.
Another really scary pitfall is falling for telephonic spoofing scams. Scammers are actually spoofing the North Carolina Board of Pharmacy's caller ID to target practitioners. You've got to know this, and you need to train your team. The board will never, ever call you out of the blue demanding sensitive data, asking for wire transfers, or threatening to suspend your license over the phone. No way. If you get a demanding call like that, hang up immediately. Give them nothing. Just manually log into your profile on the licensure gateway to verify your standing yourself.
Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds when we apply these rules to the real world.
Let's look at how we verify facilities. For a standard in-state pharmacy, you just do a normal portal lookup, and the pharmacy manager has to physically post their permit and active license on site. Pretty simple. But what if you're dealing with an out-of-state non-resident pharmacy, like a mail-order place in Pennsylvania? The rules get way stricter. You still use the portal lookup, but you have to use the state selection dropdown, and you need complex cross-border documentation. That means getting a formal letter of good standing from their home state, a National Practitioner Databank self-query, and an official inspection report, which is usually done through the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy's Verified Pharmacy Program. It's just a much higher bar.
And it's just as strict when auditing your technical workforce. In North Carolina, the standard legal ratio is 2 technicians to 1 supervising pharmacist. If you bring on an uncertified tech, they have exactly 30 days from finishing their training to register with the board. But here's the scenario. Say a pharmacy manager wants to request a waiver to exceed that 2-to-1 ratio. Any extra technicians working above that limit absolutely must be nationally certified. So, if you're doing an internal audit to make sure you're compliant, checking the North Carolina portal isn't enough. You have to do a dual source verification using the Pharmacy Technician Certification Board, or PTCB portal, to guarantee those extra techs actually hold active national certifications.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground today. Let's head into Section 6 for our next steps and official disclaimer to wrap things up.
The absolute biggest takeaway from this explainer is that you have the power to take control of your credentialing. Please, don't rely on paper certificates that might be months out of date. And definitely don't assume a license is active just because someone is wearing a white coat. I highly encourage you to open a new tab right now, go to portal.ncbop.org, and try doing a primary source verification yourself. Whether you're an employer doing an audit or a patient taking charge of your own safety, these tools are free, public, and updated in real time.
And before we go, please remember, the information provided in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. For specific questions or concerns, please contact a qualified legal professional or the North Carolina Board of Pharmacy directly. So, knowing just how easy and instant this primary source verification process is, are you really going to leave your compliance up to a piece of paper on a wall, or are you going to verify the data yourself? Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer today, and keep learning.